Hello everyone, you're listening to the LockInYourSuccess.com Trading Performance Podcast, where it's all about real traders, real coaching, and real problems. This is episode number 28, and today I'd like to talk to you about a little thing called confidence. Now, when we discuss confidence, we need to be aware that there are two primary types of confidence. There is a confidence that it comes from the context where we create a feeling of confidence based on evidence from outside ourselves or from the past. Such as, I'm confident the sun will rise tomorrow because it's happened every day of my life and I'm confident it's going to happen again. I can also talk about I'm confident that I know how to drive a car because I've driven successfully, or at least mostly successfully, for the last 20 years. And then there's another type of confidence. The confidence we feel based on our belief in ourselves. This is when we place trust in our own abilities and our own resilience. It's when we understand that things may go wrong, or we may make a wrong decision, and we may have to experience poor outcomes. However, we also know that when those poor outcomes happen, we know we can handle them. We know that we can experience the emotions of disappointment and failure and still be okay. We know we can experience any setback, and we can trust ourselves to be nice to ourselves and to learn from our experience and to take those learnings and try again. In other words, we understand that it is natural to have failures, especially when we're trying to improve ourselves, especially when we're trying to try something new. Therefore, we will experience failures. Yet we're not afraid to fail. Because when we do fail, when we make a mistake, we're patient with ourselves. We understand that it's a continuing learning process. And when we have a healthy opinion of ourselves, when we experience these failures, we reward ourselves for making the effort. We give ourselves a pat on the back, despite the fact that things didn't work out. We think, that's okay, because we've learned from the experience, and we're going to make our adaptations and give it another try. And we're going to keep doing that until we get the results that we truly want. We have faith that we'll get through this, that we will learn and continue to improve as long as we keep doing the right things, and we keep following good processes. And we believe that we will get our results, even if we have to go through failure after failure after failure in order to get it. In other words, we're willing to keep working and improving our process, even though we may not be yielding immediate results. And we're willing to do this because we have faith that if we keep doing the right things, the results that we're looking for are going to show up over time. This type of confidence is what we call self-confidence, or confidence in oneself and one's ability to be able to handle failures and setbacks and still continue to feel good about ourselves and move forward towards our goals regardless of short-term results. Having faith that we will produce a result even when there's no external evidence or past evidence showing that it's even possible. Now, if we switch back to external confidence, sure, it's nice to get external confidence through external sources, such as having a good track record of doing something. However, without self-confidence, the external validation method of creating a feeling of confidence doesn't do you any good if you're trying to learn something new or you're trying to better yourself. Because when you're trying to learn something new, you have no past evidence that you can successfully do it because you've never done it before. So for example, when you were learning to walk, you'd never walked before. There was no past evidence to draw from to feel the confidence needed to push through the repeated failures of trying to stand up and trying to walk and failing over and over and over again. Now, if we were to look into the mind of a toddler, he may gain some external confidence through seeing other people walk. But there's absolutely no past evidence that he himself will be able to walk. That said, this external confidence, based on the external evidence of seeing other people walk, may prompt him to try to walk. However, if the toddler has poor self-confidence, and he continually beats himself up after a fail, or he's afraid to fail, or if he doesn't see a favorable results immediately and consistently, which is, I think we would all agree, isn't going to happen to a toddler learning to walk, then he'd give up long before he ever learned to walk. Luckily, a human being at the age of 2 hasn't yet destroyed his self-image to the point where he's afraid to fail, because his critical mind has not yet developed. It's not active enough to make these negative adjustments about himself. And as a result, there will be no embarrassment. There will be no judgment. He'll simply keep trying, failure after failure after failure, until he is successful. This is not the case for all aspiring traders, however. Many traders are afraid to fail. They're afraid to experience the feeling of a loss. And it's no wonder when you look at the way they judge themselves. They imagine disaster scenarios and say things like, "I'm a failure. Why am I so stupid?" They create and indulge in really, really bad feelings. They take all the amazing power of the mind and they use it to beat themselves up. This, my friends, is poor self-confidence in action. So what's the problem with that? Well, consider that in order to take action on something, we need to have some sense of certainty that we'll be okay. When we have poor self-confidence, we get into this mindset that we don't think we can handle a loss or we don't think we can handle a failure, either financially or perhaps mentally. And since we can't handle a loss, we're going to need nearly 100% certainty the loss will never occur. Therefore, we attempt to create this certainty in multiple ways, such as looking for or trying to create an indicator or a trading strategy that can't lose, or seeking to prove that something will be profitable in the future through form-fitting the past with backtests, through asking people for proof of their records, even though there's absolutely no assurance that whatever they did is going to work in the future, nor that it will work for you personally. And we also do things like following trade alert, thereby putting decisions in somebody else's hands, either to pretend they won't lose, or so we can place responsibility of a loss on someone else. Realize that all these behaviors are extremely detrimental to your success as a trader. They're going to hold you back and prevent you from becoming the consistently successful trader that you are hoping to be. Not only that, if you're doing these things and you actually do find or create enough evidence to create certainty in the illusion that you can't lose, which is quite easy to do, by the way, this is something we call false confidence, or overconfidence, which is something we want to avoid at all costs. Now, some people ask me, what's the difference between self-confidence and overconfidence? The difference is, with overconfidence, you're either ignorant or ignoring risks that are surely present in the marketplace or are surely present in the situation, with the belief that you somehow are immune to experiencing that risk. You believe you can't lose. With self-confidence, on the other hand, you're very aware of the risks. You're also aware that you may experience those risks in the form of a loss. However, if you do, you also know that you can handle it and can learn from it and move forward, better results later for having experienced the loss now. So my advice to you is, if you find yourself fearful of losing a trade or fearful of failure or beating yourself up after a loss or requiring an excessive amount of external confidence in order to trade, realize that you're going down a destructive path that will be detrimental to your progress as a trader. So I urge you to make the choice to change direction and work on your self-confidence so that you can confidently fail your way to becoming a tremendously successful trader as quickly as possible. And that is what I have for you today. I encourage you to visit us at lockingyoursuccess.com and check out our pro membership so that you too can break through barriers and make quantum leaps in your trading and in your life. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Trading Performance Podcast.
Hey, if you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you have to check out my Trading Performance membership, where we take all this material to the next level. We study it and we apply it to bring our trading performance to peak levels. Simply go to tradingperformancepodcast.com, that's one word, tradingperformancepodcast.com, to receive information on how you too can become involved and improve your trading. I look forward to seeing you there.